Hi there, Natalie at Hoya Haven, and I am going to do my first episode of my plant tours. I'm going to actually, over the course of, I think it's going to be probably about 5 videos that I'm going to be putting out. But what I'm going to be showing you is all of my plants, upstairs and downstairs. I think I can get the upstairs done in like 3 videos. Downstairs, probably like 2 more videos. And I know there's been times before, back in my earlier videos, where I tried to do like all of the upstairs and all of the downstairs, but I don't feel like I can talk about all of the plants the way I want to talk about them. So because of that, I want to go through each and every plant. Now, part 1 is going to be everything you see right here, and all of the other plants in my upstairs plant room that are not in my grow tent. The grow tent will be a section all on its own. So that'll probably be part 2. So before we get started, I kind of want to, if there's a little confusion from my past videos, I did change out my front plant room. This right here that I had recently bought, I had put in my back bedroom. And I realized that it looks much, much better in the front. And then I do have room over here for some plants on the floor. And as well, it enables me to open one of my windows, which before then had been really hard to do with the shelving units that I had. So that's what we're looking at. I'll kind of give you a little look here. So, as you can see, this is my plant room that is in the front. This is what I changed out. That is my grow tent. And then I will show you over here is what I ended up putting in the back room. And that will be another video as well. So, but for today, we are going to be concentrating on this area and all of the little extra plants I have around here. So let's start over in this corner, and I do apologize for the mess. It's just never clean in here, and that's the way it's going to be. On the left-hand side, I have my Scindapsus. I want to say Scindapsus oregis. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not super into Scindapsus. I've always kind of had a little bit of a hard time with it. This one right here is being rehabbed. It seems like it's doing pretty well in the spot I have it in. Fingers crossed, I'm not going to do anything with it as long as it's doing good. To the right, I have my Domino Peace Lily. And one thing about the Domino Peace Lily, so the leaves are very wrinkled. And when I got it and I brought it home, I thought, oh my gosh, I got a plant that's getting ready to die. Well, no, somebody did end up telling me that in the Domino Peace Lily, that's actually normal. And what's also normal with all peace lilies is if they're a little bit dry on water, their leaves will immediately droop. And don't panic, just give them a good water, come back and check a couple hours later, and it'll be popped up again just like this. So yeah, for here, this is my polka dot begonia. It has seen better days. As a matter of fact, I came this close to throwing it away. However, I moved it over here. I kind of just left it to deal with it at a later day. And look what it does now. Now it's going to start popping back leaves again. So I think this is going to be one of those plants when I kind of want to do a little bit of plant chores, but don't really have anything pressing. I will probably repot this. But right now, I kind of just want to see what's going to happen. It's doing pretty good at the moment. All right, and then to the right of my work desk, I have my plant work desk, not my work desk. My very sad Monstera Peru cuttings. It's probably garbage at this point, but I'm giving it a little bit of hope. And then back here I have a couple propagations. This is my Ripsalis oblonga. You'll see the rest of this plant. It was the weirdest thing. The whole plant was doing good except this section. So, and the roots were gone. So I just, I'm repropagating it. Once I get some good roots, I'm going to plant it back with the mother plant. So, and I just happened to set it in there and it's working out perfect. And then I also have some cuttings of my Hoya quinquenervia. And those are starting to get some little roots on there as well. Back behind that, I have my dinner plate latifolia, also known as dinner plate macrophylla. And up at the top here, I actually cut, I had a leaf that was probably about the size of one of these leaves up here. And I cut it to propagate. And I think I'm going to be selling that to somebody who has shown a great interest in obtaining one. So, but I wanted to root it up first. So it's in my grow tent right now, rooting up. Okay, over here, this is my Monstera deliciosa. I have had issues with this plant. And I think it's just me. This is my second Monstera I've had. It did good when it was younger, and then as it got more mature, the leaves just kind of would droop over. And so I did change it out, cleaned up the roots. I think I'm getting somewhere with it because I do have this opening. And then further down in here, I do have what looks to be a little sprout coming up. So my girlfriend did give me a good piece of advice. She's got a pretty nice looking Monstera. And her advice was just ignore it, which I'm not good at doing. I'm an overwaterer. I hover over them, and obviously I've not been ignoring this. I've been doing the opposite. So I'm going to take her advice. I'm going to just ignore this plant, and hopefully I'll give you an update on it, and it'll be looking better the next time around. Okay, back of that is my Philodendron Macaulay's finale. This my daughter had bought and had sent out to me, and it does good as long as it gets its humidity. So it was in the grow tent until it got too big, and I tried moving it somewhere else that did not have humidity, and boy, did it not like it. So I immediately moved it back in here. As you can see, oh, look what we got coming out for the spring. Beautiful. All right, next to that, I have my Monstera Addisonii. This one, same thing. It needs humidity. So that's, I'm going to keep right here. And it really likes this front window. So that's where that one's going to stay. Okay, let's see what we've got on my bottom shelf. Okay, I think I was going to put myself into all these pictures and videos, but I think the best way to do it is just show you with one hand. That way I can kind of keep an eye on the camera and the video shot. So my first one here is my Encrusata Moon Shadow. This one is currently rehabbing. That's the good thing about me being home a little more is I can catch some of these plants before they completely die, and I can turn them around. And this one is turning around. This one's doing pretty good. Okay, behind that is my Hoya polystacia. This one kind of taking a break right now. It's not really doing anything at the moment, although the leaves do look really firm and good. It's in Pon and Leca, and I think I need to flush it out. So I think maybe if I do something like that, it might spur something on. Right now, it's not doing anything. Okay, over here, I have my Hoya hushkiliana. Now, this is the green form. And this one grows okay. It's had some setbacks. Honestly, I think most of the issue is the fact that it's in terracotta. I've noticed that a lot of my Hoya do not do well in terracotta pots, and I'm slowly switching them out. This will probably be on the list to put into a uh, different container, but for right now, it's doing okay. It's holding its own. All right, back behind here, and this is one that is doing good at the moment. This is my, some of these I gotta look at them. Hoya species Capit Borneo. And this has given me these few leaves on top. And just this spring. So I'm expecting big things out of this. This one is super, super healthy. Next one I got here is my Hoya crassipediolata. This one is doing very well at the moment. It had also had to have been rehabbed where it wasn't doing so well, and then I repotted, and now it's doing great. I've taken several propagations off of this one, so right now I want it to grow a little more, so we're going to try to leave it alone. In front of this is my Hoya sulawesiana, and this one had also been in a pond out in my front room, and it had always looked okay. It just never really took off. And this was always one of my favorite ones that I wanted to see really grow. So I decided to repot it. You can tell I'm already getting some roots on that. But I wanted to repot it and give it some extra humidity upstairs. So hoping we're going to see some good things from that. Back behind those plants, I have 3 more. This here is my Hoya retusa. This one's almost died a couple times, but it's doing good at the moment. Doing real good, actually. This is just a Hoya carnosa, one of my many propagations I've got laying around. And then this one right here is one of my Hoya shepherdii. Let's see if I can back it up a little. That is Hoya shepherdii. Very nice, very attractive plant. That's probably one of my favorites. I wish it's a little finicky. I've got more than one of those around as well. So a lot of the plants I like but are finicky, I try to keep at least an extra one of, so that if I do kill one, I've got a backup. All right, right here is another Hoya carnosa. Back behind that, I have Hoya crassipediolata Splash. This used to be much bigger. It actually used to even be on a trellis, but we're not going to talk about that. The leaves I have here are doing pretty good, so we'll leave it at that. Next plant I have here, this is my Hoya parasitica black margin. And I think I have a propagation of this somewhere too, but this one I've cut off of a few times. So it's in its rehabbing stage, I guess you could say. This is Ripsalis pilocarpa. My main one is, I believe, in the back room. This is just a propagation. And then this right here is my Hoya obscura. I got these beautiful red leaves from when I had it in the grow tent. I wanted to see what the green leaves look like. I wanted to kind of take a break from the sun stressing. I will probably put it back under there after it has a chance to grow out some more leaves. But for right now, here, I will separate it so you can see the whole thing without all the other plants in the background. But this is my Hoya obscura. All right, now what do we have here? Oh, this is some of my incrusata moonshadow that probably won't make it. This is a couple different Hoya that I'm just trying to grow some roots on. And back here, I have my, well, this is one of my, I have several of this Hoya limonica. I'm going to tell you, my mother limonica is the second one I've had. If I lose all these, I am never getting this plant again. I have had a hard time with it. I'll show you the mother plant. I think it's coming up later in this video, but this is one of my propagations. And over here, I have my Hoya multiflora. As you can tell, it's got a little peduncle. There it is. Back here is one of my favorites, my Hoya Wilbur Graves. Look at how beautiful that is. And I have to say, I started out with a tiny, tiny cutting of this plant. And this is what it has done. I mean, granted, it took a little bit of time, but this is absolutely one of my favorites. Don't ask me if it's China Wilbur Graves or Russian or whatever kinds they have out there. I don't know. It was sold to me as Wilbur Graves, so that's how I have it labeled. And I do take cut. I took one cutting off and sold it. I have a second cutting right now in my grow tent that I don't think I'm going to be able to part with. So it probably will get placed back with the mother plant, but you'll see that in another video. Okay, this is row 2. And so I'm just going to let you know, most of these plants are Hoyas. I'd say there's maybe like one on every shelf, maybe 2 that may not be a Hoya, but everything else is a Hoya. So, and I'll start with my non-Hoya. This is my neon pothos. This one, you know, this a little bit harder of the pothos variety, but I think I've got them figured out. I've got half of it upstairs. I got the other half downstairs. And very, very pretty. I love the change up in the color of green. It just kind of really pops. So back behind that, I have my Hoya Mathilde, which I also think I finally figured out. I do like the darkness of these leaves. And if this starts lightening at all from the west sun of this window, I will be pulling it back because I do not want that one to sun stress. I like the dark leaves. Back behind that is my Hoya diversifolia, which was a lot bigger. And then it started dropping leaves. And I didn't even know if these were going to survive. And now these ones are doing really good. So hoping for good things this spring for my Hoya diversifolia. In here, I just have a little propagation of my Hushkiliana. So, okay, right here, this is my Hoya choke. I'll say choke because I think that's how it's pronounced. This is also a plant that used to be bigger, but that's okay. I figured things out before it completely died, and now this will be putting out some new, hopefully. I don't see anything quite yet, but I think that's coming along. Okay, I'm going to turn off my blue and red light here because I don't know if that helps or not. We're just going to leave it off, I think. Okay. Next, back here, I have a propagation of a Hoya clemensorium. Don't know if I'll be cutting that one anymore. My mother plant is in the grow tent. This one takes a long time to root, and I don't know how long it's going to take to actually push out a leaf, but I've had it for quite a while, so it's starting to get irritating at this point. Okay, back in the back here, I have Hoya parasitica verticillata. And that one, this one's a pretty easy grower. I have no issues with that one. That one's been cut a few times as well. In front here, I have my my Hoya New Guinea Ghost. This one's, the roots are looking pretty darn good on that. All right. This is my Hoya Polyneura. This is my second Hoya Polyneura. I also had a Hoya Polyneura elbow marginata, I think it's called, outer variegated. That one died like less than a week after I bought it. It was supposed to be rooted. It wasn't rooted, but regardless, I couldn't get it to root. All I could get it to do was die. This right here is my second Hoya Polyneura. It's holding up a little bit better, but it kind of stalled. So I'm a little scared. I'm scared to do anything different with it. Just going to leave it in the spot it is. I do know that they like to be watered. They like to be a little bit more on the wet side. They don't like to dry out completely. So that's the only thing I know. And if it looks like it's going to get a little burnt, again, I will pull this back from the window. But until then, I'm kind of like scared to do anything with it because I just don't want it to die. That's one that if it dies, I'm never getting another. All right, finish back here. This is my Hoya Affinity Fitchii. This one, I mean, it's taken a little while, but it's never let me down. I've never had any problems with it. And I think this is one of those plants that's on the verge of just taking off. Because that's how Hoya are. They'll grow slow, and then they'll get to maybe mid-range like this, and then they'll just explode. So this hopefully is the year for my Hoya Affinity Fitchii. Okay, this is my Hoya Parasitica Splash. Not to be confused with my Parasitica verticillata, even though they kind of look the same. I'm going to say this one's maybe a tiny bit more splashier, but I get them confused all the time. And they're both easy growers. Okay. Oh, here's one that's a joy. I'm being sarcastic. This is my mother plant of my Hoya Lemonica. Now there is some new, you can tell which leaves are the new ones. It is starting to come around, but it basically wanted to die like the first 6 months I had it. So I'm hoping it's turning around. This I forget what it's called. It's like a fishbone cactus, I think. It's not my mother. It's a part that branched off, and I just repotted it, and it's just hanging out in here. Okay, let's see what we got over on this side. This is a Hoya Sunrise cuttings. My Hoya Sunrise, even though it's been easy for other people, it's been difficult for me. This is one of my propagations. In the back here, this is my Hoya Montesquii. And I really don't know anything about this type of Hoya other than I bought it at a store and I didn't have that name of Hoya, so I bought it. And it was like $12.99. It has put out a few new leaves. So the leaves it came with when I bought it, I mean, they were kind of gross looking. They're not, they just look old. They look like that. But as the new ones come in, the old ones will probably fall off and it'll be a nice looking plant. Okay, back here we have my Hoya Compacta Variegata. And it's starting to wake up for spring. So I'm going to have it right here in the front window, make sure it gets plenty of light. And then over here, another one. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to show you one of my absolute favorites. This is my Hoya Acuta Elbow Marginata because it's got the outside variegation. This, I have to pull this one out separate. This is an awesome. This is one of my very, very favorite plants. It is so perky. It's like nothing's going to stop this plant from just being the best version it can be. This is an awesome plant. Brand new leaves coming out left and right. It's beautiful. That's right there, one of my favorites. That's why I put my little heart in there, because it's my favorite. Another one of my favorites, and I have two of these plants. This one is my Hoya villosa, also known as a Hoya globulosa. And I have taken cuttings. These ones, they root up very easily. If you've got one of these plants and you're worried about whether it'll survive cutting and propagating, yes, it will very easily. That's kind of why I have a second plant, because I had one that was a keeper and one that was for propagating. This, I think, was going to be the one I was going to be propagating off of, but I think I've switched it around. I think I want this one to be my mother plant. So you'll see the other one on this tour because it's up on my top shelf. Okay, over here is my very, very sad Hoya carrii. As a matter of fact, it's so sad that there's a yellow leaf right there. I just fixed the roots on this and repotted it again. I do not have good luck with carrii. I have the outer variegated kind. I have two of those, and I have this one plain carrii. And they all struggle. I think it must be just me. You know, if you have any tips on Hoya carrii, please let me know, because whatever I'm doing, it's not correct. Okay, now let me get up and we'll go around. We've got one more plant on this shelf, and then we'll go up one more. This here is my Hoya rotundiflora. Again, this is one that, you know, it struggled for a bit, and then it finally started growing, and this, I think, is going to be the year of the rotundiflora. So I'll give you updates on that one as well. Okay, we're going to go up to the third shelf. I'll back up a little bit, let you see where we're at. We've done the bottom two. Now we're going to do the top two. Now, I originally had 5 shelves. Well, no, I have 5 now. But I originally had 6 shelves on here, and I ended up having to take out one towards the top because all my Hoya that are on trellises would not fit. They were too tall. So bottom is storage. The top, the next 2 up are my shorter plants, and then the next 2 up have a lot of my taller plants. So let's go ahead and get into what I've got hanging off the side over here. Here's one of my non-Hoyas. This is my Ripsalis oblonga. My Ripsalis oblonga. That's the one where I showed you my little cutting over there. It's going to go right into that bare spot. But the rest of the plant was doing good. So I couldn't see pulling out the whole plant just for one piece that wasn't doing good. That's normally downstairs, but I'm going to keep it upstairs until, well, I don't know, until I don't feel like it anymore. This is my Hoya linearis. It is looking so good. I am so thrilled with it. I think it's going to grow long this year. I really absolutely love the fact that it hangs off the side here right next to the window. It's just aesthetically, it looks awesome. Okay, I decided for the rest of the video, for the top 2 shelves, I'm going to go ahead and just pull them out and bring them up to the camera. I think it's a little bit easier that way since the plants, some of the plants are bigger. So let's see what we got. I'm going to start over with this side. I do have my Hoya lacunosa, and that is just hanging on the other side of this shelf. And so anyhow, that is what that is looking like. It had to be rerooted. It was not doing well for a while. It's finally starting to do better. It wasn't always in this room, and I think it needs the extra humidity at least to get going. I probably eventually will take it back downstairs, but that's what it's looking like at the moment. This is my Hoya acuta intervariegated. This one does not reroot well. This is not one I would recommend propagating. I'll probably give it a shot again sometime in the future, but it takes forever. So, and it has a weird growth pattern too. Other than that, I like it. I think I like my outer variegated one better just because of the growth pattern. And eventually I'm going to take it out of terracotta. So, okay. Back here I have my the rest of my Scindapsus, which does not look good at all. It may not make it. As you can tell, I got it in my Please Don't Die planter. Okay, this is just a little bitty. This is my Hoya Pazii. I don't know how to say a lot of these. This one really likes the grow tent. It really sun stresses pretty. I just decided for right now I want to give it a break from the grow tent, so I stuck it over here instead. Okay, here comes one of my big, beautiful Hoya. One of my favorites. This is my Hoya Chelsea. If you can see all that. And then this is the part that faces the window. I actually had 2 containers like this, and it was just filled up like at the top, and I sold one and kept one, and this is the one I kept, and it's doing great. This is another one where I don't want it to get too sun stressed. I like the dark leaves. I like the thick leaves. So I'm going to keep it out here for now, but if it starts getting a little too much sun, I will pull it back. This is my Hoya Meredithii. This one has just recently started putting out leaves again. So this right here is a new leaf. We've got this right here is a new leaf. We've got another little baby one in there. It's starting to do pretty good. Pretty happy with it. So it's probably going to stay right where it's at. Here's a couple non-Hoya. My Euphorbia trigona. And this is some form of Ripsalis. Don't ask me. I got a bigger one somewhere in the house, but this is my little propagation one. And put those back. Hoya vitellinoides. Yep, Hoya vitellinoides. This just put out this leaf and this leaf like a couple weeks ago. I am so thrilled because it did nothing for the longest time. And now I'm going to have some really nice, this is just a beautiful, look at that. That is a big, if I could get a big plant of this, that might like go in my top 5, top 10, I don't know. But that is my Hoya vitellinoides. This is my very sad story of my GPS 7240, which I had a lovely hanging. They look like grapes, the way that they grow and they hang. They kind of go down and around a little. And I had a beautiful one, and it was in terracotta, I believe. I think that was the problem, if I remember right. This is all I have left. And they were all wrinkled up, but guess what? I'm finally starting to get some roots. So again, this is an expensive one. I have not, I'm not going to do anything with it until it gives me like super roots. And then I'm going to do research, and then I'm going to repot it. This is my Hoya breviolata. Don't have a whole lot to say about that. It's kind of just stays the same. You know, it's not dying, but it's not thriving either. One that's taken a while, and this is one I want to keep the leaves dark. This is my Hoya dicyantha. I'm guessing I said that right. Okay. This one has really dark, beautiful leaves, and it's a little bit of a slow grower. So I'm just kind of, it's doing good right now. I'm not going to do anything to force it. We're just going to see what happens. This is my non-Hoya. This is my Philodendron tortum. I almost threw it out. I rerooted it in water, got some roots on it, planted it back up, and it has since put this out. So I'm one of these people that never gives up on a plant. If there's any chance I can reroot even just like one little leaf, I'm going to do it. Because if you don't know if you can do it or not unless you try. Ugh, another one in terracotta, my Hoya chimera pubicalyx. Don't have a whole lot to say about it. He's okay. He did grow good. He was a lot smaller than this. Okay, in the back, one of my faves. This is my Hoya Rangsan. I had a hard time with this plant in the beginning. And I think we got all over the hump. Oh my gosh, we got 2 new vines going. Actually, I'm going to keep this one pulled out because I think I need to wrap this around the trellis, because this one it's right at that point where it's just getting ready to take off like crazy. And I've been waiting so long. The Rangsan is a very, very pretty Hoya. And yeah, I can't wait to see that. So I'll give you an update on this one later, but these need to be trellised ASAP. I'm going to put that off to the side. All right, this is my Hoya naubensis. No, Hoya naubensis. That's what I'm going to say. It grows good. I had it in the grow tent. It really gets bleached in the grow tent. So I did pull it out. This is what the leaves look like not in the grow tent as opposed to in the grow tent. So I don't have too much to say on it other than, we'll see what happens. So I haven't had it all that long. I've had it less than a year. So, and then my final one on this shelf, this is one of my favorites. This is my Hoya fungii. And there is something about this plant is so attractive. It's the leaves, they're not super thick, but they're not thin either. But just the shape of them and the coloring of them, it's just something about this plant in this dark pot and this heart trellis. It's got my heart. So that is my Hoya fungii. Okay, moving on, we have the top shelf left to do, and let's get started. This right here, I just did this morning. This is my Hoya lacunosa silver. It's not doing well. The roots were bad. So what I'm doing is I am going to reroot it, and then I'm going to repot it. But my husband made this for me, and it's working out really good with repropagating this one. I can keep them all together. Okay, next plant. This is a good one. This is my Hoya Sarawak cream. And something about the way it's just growing up both sides, and then these super thick, healthy leaves, like this is pretty awesome. This one has not bloomed for me, so I'm hoping maybe this year we'll get a bloom off of it. I do have a new leaf growing right here, and these stems look very juicy and healthy, and I'm expecting good things out of this year. In the back, we have my Hoya, my second Hoya villosa, also known as Hoya globulosa. And this was the one that was my keeper. However, with all these spaces in between the leaves, I feel like this would be one better off chopping and propagating if I wanted to get some cuttings off of. So I think I've changed my mind to where this one is probably the one I will cut off of. But Hoya villosa is one of my absolute favorites as well. Okay, now for one of my non-Hoya. This is my heartleaf philodendron. I had one a long time ago and killed it. This one was part of a planter that I had separated the plants out of, and I mean, if it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not a Hoya. I can survive if it doesn't survive. So, all right, back here. This one is kind of a depressing Hoya Snow Queen. So when I got it, I believe this is the leaf when I bought it, this is the leaf that was there, I believe. And it's put out a lot of other leaves since I've owned it. I've had it a couple years at least, but I don't know. To me, that a Snow Queen is a lot more snowier than that. So if you got a pretty Snow Queen, just go ahead and show me in the comments, because I'm sure it's prettier than mine. But it's healthy, and it's not like I'm getting rid of it or anything. I don't know. I don't think it looks like a true Snow Queen. But there we go. Okay. Got some propagations in here. Oh, this is the rest of my black margin, my Parasitica black margin. Got some good roots. I probably should plant that up. And then I've got my Philodendron Brazil. This is what's left of my Philodendron Brazil. One leaf. My one leaf wonder. So let's see what we can do with that. So I'm going to put this off to the side as well. Okay, my next plant here is my Hoya glabra splash. This is a super fast grower, and sad to say, I think I've cut it a little too much. This is all I have left right now, and I've sold some propagations off of this one. So this one, I'm not going to be cutting on it for quite a while. I need it to get much, much bigger than this, but it's a very easy rooter, a very easy, fast grower. This right here is my Hoya Crimson Queen. I believe I have two Crimson Queens. This is one of them. And this one is in Pon. I feel like I want to change that up at some point. I haven't gotten around to it yet. And it's really healthy and it's looking really good. I mean, I guess I don't have to, but I don't know. I think my luck's only going to hold out so long, and I'm not good with flushing plants out, so I feel like I need to do something with that one. 3 plants left. This is my watermelon Dischidia. This one had bugs when I first got it, and once I got rid of the bugs, it did good. It's a little bit wet right now. I'm heavy-handed with the watering, so probably don't need to water it for like a week and a half from now. So, but it's looking really pretty now. Really like it. Oh, and the leaves come in they're like a brownish, reddish color, which is very pretty as well. Well, there's a real good example of that right there. Yeah, very pretty. All right, in the front here, we have my Hoya Geneva. I always want to say Geneva, but I don't. That IE's got me in there, so I'm going to say Geneva. Okay. Anyhow, this started out as a very little plant, and it got pretty big pretty quickly. So I'm really enjoying it. Maybe this might be one I might cut sometime soon and see how well it propagates. But that's my Hoya Geneva. That's what I'm going to say. All right. One plant left. And this is my Hoya Hanahai. Yeah. Hoya Hanahai. This is a very pretty plant. And I don't know. I think it really enjoys being trellised, because it's like once I trellised it, it just, leaves started just kind of popping out, and just super, super healthy looking. So can't can't wait to see what this year brings for this plant. Again, this is one that has not bloomed for me, so maybe I'll get a bloom off of it this year. Okay, so that's it for part 1 of my plant tours at Natalie's Hoya Haven. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to say probably 4 more parts coming out in the next week to 2 weeks. So please, your best way of getting to see them all is to make sure you subscribe to my channel. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye.